morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to day 14 of the daily uploads. Today we are talking about the differences between Sweden and Australia, how they're handling COVID, and the pros and cons about that.
So not Sweden versus Australia as a whole, just during COVID. And at the end of the episode, we've got some news to tell you as well. So make sure to stay tuned till the end to hear all about that.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Number one, I think, is the most obvious thing, which is lockdowns.
Sweden doesn't do lockdowns. It's in the constitution. They are not allowed to put a lockdown in place here. Having experienced lockdown, I'm happy that they can't do that in Sweden because it fucking sucks.
Yeah. Now in Australia loves a lockdown. As soon as there's a couple of cases in the community, they will put the place into lockdown. And it's not fun. We were in Melbourne when there was 111 days of lockdown, and it really, really sucked. So I think that's probably the biggest difference between Australia and Sweden. And I think we should say at the start that who knows what's right and what's wrong. We won't know for a few years.
You can't really plan anything either because it's always in and out of lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, it's constantly a few weeks and then it's a new lockdown, and then a few weeks and it's a new lockdown, and it messes with your head.
Yeah, it really does. Number two, I think, would probably be masks. In Australia, you have to wear a mask if you're indoors or outdoors. It doesn't matter if there's people around you or not. If you're walking down the street and there's no one near you, you still have to wear a mask. So
otherwise, it's a $1,600 fine.
$1,652 Australian.
Messed up.
Crazy.
What's that, about $1,000 US?
Bit more, maybe 1,200, around 1,200 US.
And in Sweden, you can wear a mask if you want to. It's not even a recommendation. They recommend it on public transport during rush hours.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. It's not enforced.
Now, with the lockdowns, they're really, really strict. So you can only leave the house for 4 reasons, which is essential working. And if you need to support your family and put food on the table, a roof over the head, that is not essential, which is absolutely crazy. They decide who's essential and who's not. Or if you can work from home, then luckily a lot of people are able to do that. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of small businesses aren't, and Australia is really, really struggling in that regard, which is horrible. So if you're in Australia and you're able to go to small markets or little community shops and things like that, make sure you go help the little guys, because the supermarkets have been open the entire time. They don't need the help. They've made more money off toilet paper this year than fruit and veg shops have made in total. So make sure to support local. Where I was going with that was that you can only go to the supermarket once a day, and only one person can go. You can only go to work if you're essential. You can go to the doctors or the pharmacy if you need to get some medicines, or you can go and get the vaccination. They're the only reasons you're allowed to leave home.
Did you say exercise as well?
And exercise, you're allowed 2 hours of it a day.
In Sweden, everything feels kind of normal here. Everyone's working, although they recommend, again, with the recommendations, not restrictions, they recommend that if you can work from home, you should. I'm working in a hotel, which is fully booked, by the way, for months. There was an incident, though, on a hotel in another town, in Båstad, where we were, on a hotel there. They had 10 employees with COVID during the tennis weeks.
Yeah.
So that's not good.
So, obviously COVID is a lot more frequent here than what it is back home, which makes sense with all these restrictions, but where's the line? Where do you draw the line? Now, the other thing with the lockdown, going back to that, is that you can also only go 5 kilometres from your home when it's in full effect. If the supermarket isn't within the 5 kilometres, then you can obviously go past it, but you have to go to the closest one. Apart from that, if you can do it within the 5 kilometre radius, then you need to do it within the 5 kilometre radius, and I don't think Sweden could even comprehend that right now.
No. Here they recommend that you stay close to home, but there's no restrictions. Like, you can go where you want within the country.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A lot freer here. If you want to enter Australia at the moment, you need to get an exemption and approval to be able to enter Australia. And if approved, you have to spend 2 weeks in hotel quarantine, which you have to pay for. It's around over $3,000 Australian per person. And then if there's 2 of you, The second person is cheaper, but I'm not exactly sure of the pricing. But 2 weeks in hotel quarantine with, I think, 2 or 3 COVID tests throughout. In Sweden,
They recommend that you self or home quarantine for 5 to 7 days, I think it was.
5 to 7 days, home quarantine, no cost. And
Recommend.
when we arrived here, they looked at my passport, he stamped it, he said go through. I don't think he even looked at my visa or my COVID test. And then Josie goes up, hands her passport over. He says welcome to Sweden, and he goes, "You're both from Sweden?" She goes, "No, he's Australian. You just had his Australian passport." I don't even think they looked. I think they saw a white guy with the surname Berg, or in Sweden they say Barry. Barry. And he just figured, maybe I'm a dual citizen or something, but I was entering on my Australian passport, and he just let me in straight away.
Yeah.
There was no restrictions, no notifying me that I have to do anything when we're here, like self-quarantining.
They had a little center at the airport, and there was a woman asking, "Where are you from?" And I told them the area that we were from, and she said, "Okay, when you get home, self-quarantine for 5 to 7 days, and do a COVID test when those days are up." So they actually did that.
No, I do remember that, but it was in Swedish, so
Yeah.
I forgot. Yes, no, I do remember that. But yeah, compared to Australia, where you'll get police escorted to a hotel, it's very different.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and also not just arriving into Australia, but for us to be able to leave Australia, or for me to be able to leave Australia, I also needed to get approval from the Australian government. So I couldn't just leave. I had to tell the government why I was leaving, how long I'd be leaving for, where I was going, prove that I could afford to be away for over 3 months. And even now, since we applied and have travelled, it's even more strict. So they're barely letting anyone out. I've heard of people getting denied even when they're moving back to their home country. So they might be an Australian citizen that are from England and they want to move back to the UK, but the Australian government will not approve it. So it's just crazy.
I think it's absolutely horrifying the way that oh my god, I can't even. Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. And when we left Australia, I was scared. I was scared to leave Australia because Australia, the government, the media, everything, drill it into you to be absolutely terrified of this virus. Where you're scared all the time. When you walk into the supermarket, you hold your breath as you walk past people. Like, I did not know what to expect when we got off the plane in Dubai, and that was it. On the plane to Dubai, we were with Australians. We knew that no one had COVID. Maybe the airline staff, but I'm sure they were tested and were good to go.
They were also wearing protective suits.
They were too, yeah. And so I felt safe until we arrived in Doha. And we arrived in Doha, we got off the plane, and it was like normal.
Everyone was wearing masks. You had to.
Yeah.
But there were a few people that had like these virus...
Hazmat suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hazardous suits.
Yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, pretty normal.
Yeah.
Got on the plane to Stockholm, and then we were in Stockholm, and then everyone was just walking around without masks. And we'd been in Australia. I'd been there for 1.5 years, and I'd been there during the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
And just seeing people without masks, and we were like, what? Like, I'd been talking to my family, of course, during the pandemic. And they said, no, it's pretty normal here, but I thought that maybe they just said that so I would come home. No, but it's very... You don't notice it.
No.
You don't know that there's a pandemic. Whereas in Australia, it feels like you're in a movie.
Yeah.
It feels like you are in the movie Contagion,
In Australia, they recommend that if you have COVID, that you go get tested, and apart from going and getting tested, that you stay home. Same in Sweden.
Same, yeah. You should absolutely, definitely stay home if you have COVID. That's what everyone says. And don't see anyone.
Yeah.
Don't go to the supermarket. Don't.
Yeah, so that's the same. So, I mean, as a conclusion, I think Australia, they've taken the route of terrifying people and scaring people and making everyone feel like they're on this island of safety, like a little safety island where they're not getting affected by COVID too much. Or they are, but in different ways, lockdowns. Where here, we're free.
In Australia, they scare people to submission.
Yeah, absolutely. absolutely. And I mean, who knows what's right and what's wrong? I don't think we'll know for a few years' time.
No.
But I can say that having been in Australia for over a year of the lockdown and being in Sweden now, while Australia is still going in and out of lockdowns, I'm much happier here.
Yeah, it definitely affected both of our mental health. We weren't in a good place during those lockdowns, and just the sense of being scared all the time, it's not nice. So being here, I feel a lot happier,
Yeah.
a lot calmer. I don't really think much about it, whereas in Australia I could be like, oh, better not go to the supermarket twice in a week, because, should keep it to once a week, and, stuff like that. And here it's, knock on wood, but we've been here now for 4 months.
Yeah.
We've been out doing stuff. You've seen our vlogs. There's been people.
Yeah.
We haven't been wearing masks. None of us have gotten COVID.
Touch wood.
Touch on wood again.
No, it's nice. I'm glad we can. And yeah, as I said before, I was scared to leave Australia. Now I am more scared to go back. Like, I feel like Australia's gone back 200 years and it's back to being a prison island.
Kind of.
And some of you might disagree with me, and as I said, I don't know who's right and who's wrong. I think that the right way to handle it is somewhere between the middle of what Australia's doing and what Sweden's doing. It's just about finding that middle ground, and I mean, it takes time, but it's been over a year, and some Australians are still struggling to get home to their families, and people that are in Australia can't leave to go see family members who are dying. Like, I've seen so many posts in this travel exemption page on Facebook where people's families are dying overseas, mums and dads, and their response is they're not considered to be immediate family. Like, if mums and dads aren't considered to be immediate family, what is?
It's absolutely insane. It's
Mental.
inhumane.
Yeah.
Very inhumane.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows what's right, what's wrong, but we just wanted to give you a quick update, let you know how the different countries are handling it. I don't agree with everything that Sweden's doing, I don't agree with everything that Australia's doing, but I'm glad that we're here in Sweden.
Yeah, me too. And we're actually able to get out there and film for this channel.
Exactly. If we were in Australia, we'd be showing you our living room, our dining room, our bedroom. You wouldn't be seeing too much. Yeah. But the exciting news that we have to tell is that, as you know, we've been doing 30 days of daily uploads, and today is day 14, so we're almost halfway through the 30 days. But unfortunately, we're going to have to cut it short just for a little bit, not permanently.
Putting it on hold.
Putting it on hold, and the reason that we're putting it on hold I'm really excited for, and that is the fact that we've moved our trip around Sweden forward a few weeks. So we're actually going to be leaving in about 5 days' time, and we're going to be traveling all over Sweden, making beautiful storytelling cinematic vlogs. They're going to be travel videos, vlog style. So I really look forward to that. We're going to be exploring pretty much all over the bottom half of Sweden. So that's going to be really, really fun, and I think that it's worth not doing the daily uploads while we're traveling, so that we can make sure that those videos are in capturing as much as it possibly can.
And we can put all of our effort and energy into those videos, so they're good and
Exactly
nice
right.
for you to watch.
Exactly right, and there's so much to see here that we don't want to miss anything. And yeah, if you want to keep up with our daily updates, go follow us on Instagram. We'll be doing stories throughout the entire trip. So if you want a kind of daily vlog experience, you can watch our stories. But when we get back from traveling around Sweden, then we'll have quite a bit of editing to do. We will be editing while we're traveling, but after a couple of weeks of being back, we might look at doing these daily vlogs, or starting these daily vlogs up again.
Yeah.
So there's the exciting news. I hope that you're looking forward to it, because I am.
I'm too. I'm so excited, and I just worked my last day yesterday, and now I have 4 weeks off.
Yeah. We've been here for 4 months now, and I've spent a total of 1 hour in Stockholm, which is when we landed here, and then we drove 8 hours down to southern Sweden. So I'm really excited to go check out Stockholm and all the other places in between.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, guys. Have a good day, and we'll see you all again
tomorrow.
No.
No, not tomorrow.
Oh, that's actually kind of sad.
It's sad.
We'll see you all again
In the next video.
soon.
Soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Click subscribe.